So I'm going to turn it over to Katie. She is going to be telling us all about pancakes.
Yes, perfect. The griddle is hot and we are definitely ready to learn about pancakes. I'm going to go ahead and get our little slideshow started here. I'm reaching over the hot griddle to maneuver the computer, so I'm a little slow. But my name is Katie McFarland, and I'm an extension educator with the University of Idaho in Lemhi County, so that's in Salmon. And University of Idaho, we pride ourselves on being practical education that you can trust. And if you are not familiar with your local extension office, you can find your local extension office in our directory, and I believe my lovely helpers are going to post that link into the chat so that you can click on that to locate your local extension office. There is a lot of things that we offer besides just fun, cool classes like this. So we're working on a lot of different things, and we'll showcase a lot of those throughout this series as well. Oh, cool, your husband's from Salmon. It's a small town, but everybody knows somebody from Salmon, it seems like. All right, so we're going to highlight one of our programs we have at the University of Idaho.
University of Idaho Extension is helping Idahoans care for private and public lands through education to landowners, natural resource managers, and forest industries. From forest insects and diseases to wildland fire, stream protection, rangeland conservation, and logger education, UI Extension is guaranteeing the sustainability of our land for the future.
So before I tell you guys a little bit about myself, we need to know a little bit about you guys. So we'll be launching a poll, and if you would please answer the questions in that poll that'll show up on your screen, we would greatly appreciate it. It's the way for us to keep track of how many people are participating in our programming, and that information is very helpful and useful to us so we know how to serve you guys better. Just have a couple more of you to finish that up, so we'll go ahead and let you do that. Okay, thank you guys for doing that. I appreciate it. Looks like we've got a couple of adults, a couple of kids. It'll be really fun. Hopefully we'll all enjoy learning about pancakes today. I already told you that I am Katie McFarland, and I'm located in Lemhi County in Salmon. I was born and raised here, so I'm very excited to get to serve my community and give back to the extension program that I grew up in, so it's pretty fun for me. I work a lot in community and family life development. I get to do a little bit in food safety, health and nutrition, your general family and consumer sciences, and then I also get to do a little bit in 4-H. So I kind of get to do a whole lot of everything, which is really fun because I have a pretty varied background and I enjoy teaching lots of different kinds of classes. So I really like that I get to mix things up. So we are going to go ahead and get started with what we came here to talk about, which is pancakes. Now, included in your materials that you got ahead of time or that you're going to check on later when you get out of this class, you will have a handout that talks about, it has a couple of recipes for pancakes, and it also has some ingredients or add-ons that you can use with your pancakes. And the reason why I have compiled this list of crazy pancakes is because my middle daughter is obsessed with pancakes. She loves them. She wants to eat them all the time for every meal, every day. My other 3 children do not love pancakes as much as she does. So we've had to come up with ways to spice them up and mix them up a little bit so the other kids are willing to eat pancakes at least once a week or twice a week if they have to. So this morning we had our apple cinnamon pancakes that you'll see the recipe in there. So they love their pancakes, but especially the middle daughter. So we started exploring different recipes, and you can look up pancake recipes online. It's really easy. You can find lots of different stuff. My kind of secret is I never make the pancake batter from scratch because I don't have that kind of time. I'm fast. It's like in the morning and it's crazy and I'm trying to get kids ready. So what I've kind of done is adapted those recipes where you would start from scratch with the pancake mix. And I've adapted it to use with just ready-made pancake batter mix that you can buy at the store. And that way it saves a lot of time and energy, and it makes it easy and your whole family can participate because there's not a lot of measuring and a lot of stirring, but just enough that everybody has something to do. So I like to use just pre-mixed pancake mix and then spice it up with some things. So for example, some of the things you can add to your pancakes is flax. I love adding flaxseed to the pancakes. I feel like it's upping the nutrition for my kids, but they also like it because it gives it a little bit of a different flavor and a little different texture. So that's a fun one if I'm going to use, especially with the maple syrup, your classic maple syrup. The flax is kind of fun to mix in there and just kind of make them a little bit different than normal. You can use fresh fruit or berries right into your batter. So you'd mix up the batter liquidy and then add blueberries or something like that into the batter. And then you can put it onto the griddle with those already in, or you can lay your pancake and put them on top. That works well too. You can also top with fresh fruit if you wanted. You could even use canned peaches if you want to put those on the top of your pancakes. Pancakes are pretty versatile. So you kind of think outside of the box and you can really mix them up. You can also add fruit or veggie puree, and everyone goes veggie puree, but the pancakes we're making today have a veggie in them. And we often will use pumpkin, canned pumpkin, and you don't want to get the pie mix because it's already seasoned and stuff, but you just get the plain canned pumpkin, and the recipe's in your handout, and you can add that to the batter and you can make pumpkin spice pancakes, and they're really yummy, and you get an extra vegetable into your diet. It's hard to get vegetables into breakfast, so that's a good way to do that. Or you can use a fruit or vegetable puree. I like to use applesauce a lot. The pancakes I made this morning had applesauce in them, and that's the apple cinnamon recipe that you'll find in your handout. I also can put chia seeds in there sometimes because it gives it a little bit of a crunch and just kind of mixes it up. Again, we eat a lot of pancakes, so we have to figure out ways to make them different. So chia is a fun one. You can even put that with other things. If you have like a fruit puree and you put the chia seeds in, just gives you a little bit extra nutrition, and it doesn't really affect the quality of the pancakes. So it's a good way to sneak extra nutrition in there. Peanut butter and nut spreads are good on top of your pancakes. My favorite is a peanut butter honey pancake, but you can also put them inside your pancakes by laying your batter out on the griddle and then scooping a little bit of the peanut butter or Nutella or another nut spread in the middle, and then a little batter over top so it covers it. And when you flip it, you have a filled pancake. So when you cut it open, you have this nice, lovely, melty Nutella. That's my kids' favorite, is the Nutella pancakes like that. So that's a fun one that you can do to just mix up regular old pancakes. And this one was just taught to me last year, but you can use ice cream on top of your pancakes. And we do it sometimes like with somebody's birthday. We'll put ice cream on the pancakes. I see those eyes. He's like, yes, ice cream on the pancakes. That's what I want to do. But we put ice cream on our pancakes and it's really fun. And sometimes we have pancakes even for dinner. So ice cream on our pancakes for dinner is a fun little treat. And it tastes really good, actually. So sprinkle pancakes, that's my middle daughter's favorite pancakes out of all of the ones that we've tried. And it's super simple. You just put your batter on the griddle and then sprinkle those sprinkles right on top and then flip it. You can also put them on top. I'll do that for birthdays too. Put a little bit of whipped cream and some sprinkles on top of pancakes to make them special. And then you can also use honey as a topping instead of maple syrup. There's lots of things that you can do to mix it up a little bit and change it up a little bit. And they're not just plain old pancakes, but they can be really inexpensive and really easy to make. So I hope that we'll give you some ideas tonight, and that'll give you some inspiration to try some different things in your pancakes. One of the recipes that I have in the first is a cinnamon toast cinnamon roll pancake, sorry. And that one has a swirl of cinnamon and sugar in it. And then we top it with the glaze, and the glaze recipe I'm going to be demonstrating for you tonight also, which is a fun alternative to maple syrup. It kind of originated when I was out of syrup and I needed to figure out something quick to put on our pancakes, but now we use it all the time. My kids prefer it over maple syrup. So sometimes they made a huge batch of it this morning to put on their pancakes. They like it, especially with the cinnamon roll ones and the carrot cake and the apple cinnamon. But the carrot cake recipe that we'll use tonight is in your handout. And I also included the applesauce, the apple cinnamon pancakes, and it also has a variation to use pumpkin in that. So you can try that and mix it up. But you can really do kind of whatever you want and experiment. One thing I've learned when experimenting with it is I use my batter first, and then I put my wet ingredient. If I'm going to put pumpkin, or I'm going to put applesauce, or I'm going to put berries in there, then I'm going to add the water, because that way you have a little bit of moisture from that puree, and you add the water to get the right consistency. If you just go ahead and use the recipe for the right amount of water and the right amount of batter, and then throw in the extra stuff, sometimes you don't have the right consistency for your pancakes, and they get a little bit too runny, and they're too flat, or they're too thick, and they don't cook all the way through. So that's my tip for the evening, is to put your wet ingredients in first and then add your water till you get the right consistency. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our carrot cake pancakes. They're super simple. I have everything prepped here. So I have my pre-mixed pancake batter, and then I am going to add my cinnamon and nutmeg seasonings. And that is in your, you can use nutmeg, you can use ginger, any of those things that you'd use for like carrot cake are really great. And so that's our dry ingredients mixed in there. I'm going to go ahead and mix in a little bit, so it makes it easier to mix everything in at the end.
Katie,
and then
could you please unshare your screen so we can see what you're doing a little better?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so I've got my pancake batter right here, and I mixed in my seasonings, and now this is a perfect that you guys can see this really well, because this is my shredded carrot. Now it's important that you, when you're shredding them, to use the finest grate that you have on your grater, because you're not going to cook these carrots. They're not pre-cooked. So you want them nice and thin so that they can mingle and cook up with the pancake, and you don't have like big chunks of cold carrot in there. Then it kind of defeats the purpose of sneaking the vegetables into the pancakes. It's kind of obvious at that point. So we're going to take our shredded carrots, and we're going to put that into the batter. Like I said, add your liquidy ingredients, like your purees, your carrots, your pumpkins, your applesauce, before you add your water. And I give it just a little bit of a stir, because again, if it's stirred, it makes it a little bit easier, but you don't have to get it all mixed in yet, because we're going to add our water. So the recipes do give you a general amount of water, but I am a very much eyeball it kind of a pancake maker. So I don't usually measure my water. I just mix it in until I get the right consistency. So I'm going to just pour some water in here until I get a consistency. I always say that you should have your pancake batter where you almost think it's too thin. And that's probably about right. So I like my pancake batter a little bit thinner. With the type of pancake batter I use, it seems to fluff up really well. So we're going to mix this up, get the lumps out of it. Just batter, just like you do any old pancakes. And I'm just going to spoon it. I have my griddle here. It's already hot. I went ahead and heated it up while we were starting. I'm going to put a little nonstick spray on there. You can also use butter, cooking oil, anything. I like to use a little bit. It certainly helps, I think, with sticking. So I'm going to pour my pancake on. We were joking earlier, the first pancake's always that like weird looking pancake. So hopefully I don't have the weird looking pancake when I start, but we'll throw a couple pancakes on here and let them get to cooking. It's super important to have a hot griddle. And if you have a hot griddle, your pancakes will cook up more evenly and more quickly. So these guys are cooking up nice. And if I can tip this, you can see that they start to bubble on top. You'll see little air bubbles starting to come on top. I just made that one a little disfigured because of that, but first ones are always weird. So once you get the bubbles on top, then you're pretty likely that your pancake is cooked through enough to flip. So we're going to give these guys a little flip. They start to get a little dry around the edges, so you know that they're firm enough to flip. Give them a little flip, and they will finish cooking up on that back side. So pretty easy. I didn't have to put that much water in. And again, I like to eyeball it till it's just like a little bit, almost too thin, and it seems to work really well. So these guys are looking really good. They're not the most circular pancakes today, but they eat the same. So I'm going to pull these pancakes off the griddle. It doesn't take very long. Pancakes are quick and easy. And that's what we have for our finished product. Now, I mentioned that we sometimes use glaze instead of syrup. So really quick and easy. The recipe is included in your handout. I have my powdered sugar in here, and then I'm going to add a little bit of milk. Now, it says half a cup of milk, but I always lean on the side of a little bit less because it doesn't take much. So I just pour my milk right into my powdered sugar. That's all that's in here. A little bit of vanilla that I put inside my milk before I dumped it in here to give it a little flavoring. You can use other flavorings too. I've used almond, or almond is a good one. You can do, I have a s'more flavored syrup that my kids think is really good to put inside there. But then we just mix it up until it's like a drippy, glazy consistency. Super fast, super easy, just 3 ingredients. And you can just drizzle that on top of your pancakes, and they are super easy and done. And it's a fun way to sneak in some vegetables, mix it up a little bit for your pancakes. So does anybody have any questions about that process? You can go ahead and unmute, or you can type it in the chat. Okay, no questions. Pancakes are pretty simple. That's the beauty of it. It's not too hard to figure out how to do our pancakes. So that's my demonstration for you guys tonight. And hopefully you can take some of these recipes that you've seen, you can test them out, you can mix and match, you can try different things, see if you like it. If you don't like this seasoning, try another seasoning, anything like that, and just kind of have fun with it. And it's kind of trial and error sometimes, but you can come up with some really great recipes and hopefully give a little variety and a little extra nutrition to your pancake making every morning.